Hello everyone. Today I'm going to explain, as requested by my channel followers, there is an expenses or borrowed money from a personal or from a bank even. So there is a simple format in Excel sheet where you can manage this one in a way that you can easily look at the summary and to identify how much you paid and how much it's pending. So first of all, I have created this column. So I have the borrower name, date, amount, and pending and returned. Here, the main function we are going to use if formula and SumIF. It's like if formula, and then we are using the SumIF formula inside if formula itself. And I'm going to explain it in a few minutes. First of all, let's create the table. So creating a dynamic table, it will help to make the things more flexible. So let's assume that I will select this columns. I will go to insert table, and then I will say my table has a header, say OK. I will remove the filter and banded rows, so it will be standard there. At the same time, I'm going to write or create another table with the same borrower, date, right, amount, and comments, if there's any comments to be mentioned in this table. Right, for this table also I'm going to select and go insert, do the same job, table, my table has a header, say OK, and in this table I'm going to keep the filter button because I'm going to use it, and it's really very useful in this table, and I'm going to explain why. It's banded rows I will remove only. Alright, so let's assume that I have John. I paid him, for example, let's assume this table named returned records. Okay, and from the date I will mention 20 of June 2020. The amount I retain is 300, and I'm going to add the currency. Alright, and you can write anything, any comments here. For the currency here, just right click, go to format cell, or just to do it one time. So pending, returned, and even the amount here, including this amount. So this fields will be with a currency, it's showing currency. So I will do right click on them, format cell, going to currency, select how many decimal I would like to keep it 0. You can select dollar, euro, any of this. I'm going to use ed, say OK. Alright, so for the comments, comment 1. Alright, so if I need to add a new record, first of all, let's assume this to make it centralized. Yep, it will look better. And I will have from mark, just press tab, so you can see the second column included in the table. You see this corner, that means this is the limit of the table. So if you type anything here, for example, and you go next, it will consider it as a part of this table. Alright, so from mark 22nd, and I will say John 2020. Alright, and I paid here 150. And as you can see, whenever you type any number here, it will obtain the same format. Okay, I'll say comment 2 and so on. And let's assume that I have another person, Patrick. Okay, and this is on 25th. Right, and here 200, comment 3. Okay, so now the main job is how to know what is bid. So let's assume that I have bid for John also on 22 John, okay, and I bid him another 100, okay. So in this records you can see John, I have bid him 300 and another day with 100. So what I need from here, the borrower field here is supposed to be the same name as you mentioned in this field. If you did type with spelling mistake or different name, not exactly as per this table borrower name, it will not work. It will not give you this accurate details here. So from here I will say John, date I borrowed the money from him, let's assume 20 of March 20. I will expand this one. The amount I took is, let's say, 1,200. As you can see, the formatting, the currency. So the pending is equal the amount that I borrowed minus the returned will be E3, which is 1,200, nothing returned. So what I'm going to write here, the formula, checking where John in this table, how many times it's recorded, and look at the amount, calculate all of them, this give me the total of them, and return it here. So we would say equal if, and I will say if John equal to borrower, comma, all right, and I will write inside if condition or if formula, I will say SumIF, and the range should be in this table. I would select all of this, so it will look in the borrower column of this table, and the criteria is A3, which is John in this column, and the sum range would be the amount column. Press enter. Oh, okay, I have to close the brackets. So I have 1, yes, and I have 2. Here we go. Alright, so as you can see, I bid 300 for John and 100 again on 22nd June, and 400 is returned. Out of 1,200, I have 800 pending. So simply, it's very easy to identify in this way. Now, if you add, for example, as you have the records of Mark and Patrick, so I will say Mark. All right. So what's happening here? It's reading the record from the table, and if you add Patrick, it's getting 200. So basically, you are giving him, so it's minus. So you need to mention how much you bid. So let's assume in 20 Feb, I got, for example, 400. So returning 150 and remaining 250. The same for Patrick. Let's assume that I got only from him 200 on Feb. The amount I got is 200. So pending is 0. Of course, you can do some formatting, like some coloring, right, which is compatible, or you will see it's easy for you to understand more. And whenever I add a new records here, let's assume that for John, still 800 pending. So if I write John here, let's assume today is 26, John 20, and I paid him 700. As you can see, it's reflected, so I paid total 1100, and pending is 100 out of 1200. Now, as you remember in the beginning of this video, I told you in this table I need the filter button. So how it is useful from here, if I have, let's assume I have 100 of records down, and I need to look exactly what is the records related to John. So simply I can go from here, I will untick select all, and I will click the one I need to see only. So I will say John, I will click OK, and as you can see, it's reflecting only the records related to John. So how many times I bid for him, and what is the total, and even in this table it will retain only John. Now the only option is to go back, is to go to the same filter button, select all, and say OK. This is for today. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, or if you have any additional requirements in this records, please let me know by writing in the comments, and thanks.